What's up, y'all? Trent from Trentendo here. Today we are talking everything for Nintendo in 2025, from Switch 2 to launch titles for it, and even what will Nintendo do to support the current Nintendo Switch. So before we hop into all of that, make sure you hit that subscribe button and like this video so you guys are kept up to date with everything going on here at Trentendo. We are on a goal to hit 4,000 subscribers, so if you enjoy this type of stuff, hit that button and let's just dive right in. So first things, we gotta start with what we already know Nintendo has on the docket for 2025. So we just turned a calendar page on the new year. What do we have on the docket? So first up, this month we have Donkey Kong Country Returns coming out on the 16th. Now this is a Wii game that's being ported over to Nintendo Switch. It's quite an old game. It's the country game before Tropical Freeze even. So we have yet to get a new Donkey Kong Country on Nintendo Switch, which kind of stinks, but makes me think that they're kind of just bringing this over, and that once we get Nintendo Switch 2, we're probably going to see a new Donkey Kong game on the next system would be my bet, especially with the Mario movie coming out. We've got the Donkey Kong Country theme park all going on. So I think that they're kind of just bringing up this game, getting stuff ready, and then once that comes out, once we get Switch 2 out, they're going to probably pair that along some sort of other release because it just makes sense. But I don't think that's going to happen this year at least, but I could see that happening sometime in the future. So at least this year we do have Donkey Kong Country Returns. We've also got Xenoblade Chronicles X, the Wii U port. This is like one of the last Wii U games that we have yet to get on Nintendo Switch. So that's hitting in March. So I know a lot of people are really excited for that. I've never actually played a Xenoblade game. Haven't really, from what I've seen, it's not really my type of game, but maybe I'll give Chronicles X a try. So that's definitely one that I know a lot of people are excited for, and they got their eyes on in March. Of course, we got two big ones, though, to kind of round out. We got Pokemon Legends ZA. We have not seen anything for this game outside of the little trailer that they showed at the Pokemon Presents last year and said 2025, taglined it. We know that it's in Kalos. That's it. So there's still a lot to know about this game. I would imagine that we see something in the February Pokemon Presents for this. We know we're going to get one on Pokemon Day. They've given us the Pokemon Presents on Pokemon Day for almost the last years. For a long time we've gotten one. So it would make sense we see something then. Especially with the 2025 release date. I think they're going to finally show us something. Hopefully with, I think the way that they've handled this makes me a little bit more optimistic going forward for Pokemon games. I think the way that Scarlet and Violet was handled was a little bit disappointing. So hopefully with this, they were given more time on the development cycle. Maybe they have a bigger team. They saw what they went well with Pokemon Legends Arceus and with Scarlet and Violet, what didn't go so well for both of those games. Both of them had some issues despite being, really well received for the gameplay and the new mechanics and things they introduced. So I'm excited to see more about Legends ZA and what that brings. And 2025 is the year that we are supposed to be getting it. So that's something to look forward to. And then, of course, last but not least, Metroid Prime 4. Long time in the making. We don't know our exact release date for it yet. We just know it's coming out this year. A lot of speculation that this will be a launch title for Nintendo Switch 2. It could be like the feature title with, the graphics and the gameplay and things like that. It could be a really cool thing for Nintendo to feature Metroid on their next system as the launch title. So we'll have to wait and see about that. But I think that, maybe in a February Direct we hear more about that specifically, especially if we do get a Nintendo Switch 2 announcement here soon, which leads us into the next thing. Nintendo Switch 2 we know is going to be announced within the next 90 days or so. That's a given. Nintendo said this will launch, or will be announced rather, before March, or before the end of March 2025. So within the next 90 days or so, we will have an idea of when we can see Nintendo Switch 2. Now there's a lot of thought that this is not going to hit until the summer, June, July at the latest. There's some hope that this could be something as early as March. So if we do get an announcement here this month, maybe we do see a March release. So they did Nintendo Switch 2, but we also had an idea of what was coming earlier in October of the year prior. So we'll have to wait and see. I could see Nintendo maybe bumping things up a little bit with this one. They don't have to be as marketing focused with this. It's not going to be a whole new system. It's another Nintendo Switch. That's all they need to really market it as. Better games, better graphics, the whole shaboodle, whatever you want to say. It's a Nintendo Switch. I don't think they're going to need to educate the customer base on what this system is. It's just going to be, hey, it's here. Let's get it out. And I think with the way that the manufacturing and some of the leaks have been happening, we might be closer to a release than we might actually think. So I'm not totally ready to rule out March as a release date for Nintendo Switch. But, with what we have heard, sometime in maybe, end of March, April, May, June, probably somewhere in that springtime, even maybe going clear to July for all we know. But we'll have to wait and see what Nintendo actually does. But that is honestly going to be a huge part about 2025 and when that system releases, because there's going to be the launch titles, and I think a lot of developers are going to want to hold on to their titles for Nintendo Switch, specifically for when that launches, because they're going to have, maybe they have multiple versions, or maybe they're only going to support Switch 2, so they got to wait for that better graphics and that better system to be out there for consumers to really enjoy their games. So that leads us into what is going to be some of the launch titles. What can we expect throughout the year? Because I think there's going to be launch titles, and I think there's going to be a lot of crossover between what is available on Switch 2 and with the current Nintendo Switch. I don't see Nintendo abandoning Switch 1 very quickly. I can see maybe there's 1 or 2 games that are exclusive to Nintendo Switch 2, but I think a lot of them are going to be backwards compatible, or they'll have a Switch 1 version at the very least. So let's get into some of that. One thing that we see every year from Nintendo, with one exception, is a Zelda game. Last year we got Echoes of Wisdom. This year, maybe is finally the year we get Wind Waker and or Twilight Princess. I think that makes the most sense, especially with a Nintendo Switch 2. They're going to want, I feel like you want a Zelda game during the launch year. Obviously, we're not going to get another mainline Zelda for a while. We just got Tears of the Kingdom a couple of years ago. We are at least 3 or 4 or 5 years out from another 3D full Zelda game. Maybe we'll get another port of another 2D Zelda of sorts. Maybe get a Game Boy Advance Zelda, Four Swords or Minish Cap or something like that. We'll have to wait and see. But I think the way that Wind Waker and Twilight Princess has been handled, there's been too much smoke. It's been talked about for far too long. This game exists. There's no doubt in my mind that this game is out there, and Nintendo has just been sitting on it, waiting for the right time. And I think Nintendo Switch 2 might be the right time, where whether very close after release or maybe even on a release timing, they give this game out, and that's something that people can pick up with a Nintendo Switch 2. Play through those games, and I don't think that this becomes a bundle as we had talked about in the past. I know there's a lot of hope that we could potentially see something, in a dual pack. Wind Waker or Twilight Princess is going to sell well enough on their own. Nintendo's going to slap a $60 price tag on that thing and send them out, one by one, not in a pack, unfortunately. I don't see that happening, but gives us hope that I think we will see something Zelda this year. I think that there is a chance that we do see Twilight Princess and or Wind Waker hit Nintendo Switch and Nintendo Switch 2 this year. Next up, Mario's 40th anniversary is this year. Last time, for the 35th anniversary, we got a ton of Mario games, and we got the best one was Mario 3D All-Stars, obviously, bringing us Mario 64, Mario Galaxy, and Mario Sunshine, all in one combo pack for $60, $20 a game, really. That was an awesome experience. I loved those games. Getting to play through all those again on Nintendo Switch was super fun. But for the 40th anniversary, I think we're going to get the one omission, and that's Mario Galaxy 2. I think that they brought Galaxy 1 over. I don't know why they just didn't bring over Galaxy 2 at the same time. So I think maybe for the 40th, this is where we're going to see a Mario Galaxy 2. Because there's been some talk that we may not see a Mario 3D game for the launch of Nintendo Switch 2. I don't know if that's true. I actually kind of think that Nintendo launches with Mario because that's what they typically have almost always done. Mario sells systems. So they're going to want Mario to sell a system. So if for the 40th anniversary, they give us Galaxy 2, that wets people's whistle for a little bit. And then, once that Switch 2 drops, and if it really isn't dropping till the summertime, you have a pretty decent gap there between Mario Galaxy 2 and the next 3D Mario, assuming it launches the same time as the Switch 2. And maybe it doesn't launch, maybe it's a later launch, so they give you a little bit buffer. So I think there's enough time in the year. If they do something for the 40th anniversary, I could see Galaxy 2 getting out there potentially as something that they do. I also see Mario 99 making a comeback for the 40th anniversary. People really like that game. I thought it was pretty fun. That racing through the levels against 99 other people. We see it with F-Zero getting the F-Zero 99 or something like that. I haven't played that one as much, but I think for this game, for this 40th anniversary, Galaxy 2 makes a lot of sense, and then also bringing back Mario 99. Something I could see, like I said, this is all speculation. I don't have any inside sources, but I think for the 40th anniversary, at the very least, we are going to get something from Mario, and honestly, I think the thing that makes the most sense is Galaxy 2. Now, next up, we got to talk about a couple of other things. what about NSO? I think there's going to be continued emphasis on NSO. They've talked about with this change to Nintendo Switch 2, our Nintendo accounts are going to carry over. The Nintendo Switch Online system or service will move to the next system. So obviously, I think the main thing, and this has also been something that's been brought up multiple times throughout the course of the last couple of years, is GameCube on the NSO. I think that is something that they hold on to for a Nintendo Switch 2 launch. They launch Switch 2, and within the next month or so, they drop GameCube on the NSO. And that's going to be a big motivating factor for people to maybe pick up Nintendo Switch 2. Maybe it's only exclusive to Nintendo Switch 2. That's how you play the GameCube games, is on Nintendo Switch 2. So I think that is something that we could see this year for Nintendo Switch. And Nintendo Switch 2 would be additional systems onto NSO, with GameCube being the most likely candidate, in my opinion. They've kind of gone in sequential order anyway, so it makes the most sense. I think eventually they do get to the Wii, and maybe they tweak controls with how they've done for Skyward Sword and for Galaxy and things like that. So we'll have to wait and see, but I think NSO will continue to be emphasized. And not only will we get GameCube, I think we're going to get more N64 games. We're going to get more GameCube games. Fingers crossed, maybe we get a Pokemon game or two on the Game Boy and Game Boy Advance. We've seen videos of people who've had hack switches, and the trading between games works on NSO's app. So I think that the functionality is there. I think it makes sense, and maybe this is something that they're continuing to kind of hold and wait for. Maybe there's some issue with the Pokemon Company where they don't want to quite release it yet. But you've got Pokemon Stadium 1 and 2 on the NSO. Give us the games. Let us enjoy those games fully with the system and the mechanics that they were intended to, by being able to transport games, Pokemon from games. So hopefully those are a couple of things that I would really like to see on Nintendo Switch for this year. That's it for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed this quick update. I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts as well on what you hope to see from Nintendo in 2025. What do they hope to bring to Nintendo Switch 2? How do you hope they support Nintendo Switch going forward as well as we get into 2025? I think there's a lot of exciting potential here, and this could be one of the best years for Nintendo in a long, long time. So I'd love to get that conversation going with you down below. Hit that subscribe button, like this video. It really does help. I appreciate it. And until next time, catch you later.